Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good morning, everyone. We are from Group 8 and we will present about Chapter 3 Technologies for Teaching and Learning L2 or Second Language Grammar. So, before that, let me introduce our member group. The first is Indah, Rizky, Julianty, and the second, Vania Aurellia, and me as a moderator, Priskila, Dewi, Awan. So, the first material will be presented by Indah, Rizky, Julianty.
Okay, thank you. So I will explain about introduction. So the overall focus of this inductive teaching approach is on meaning and our communication rather than linguistic form. These two main approaches to grammar teaching are also reflected in the ways in which L2 grammar is taught and learned with technology. Yet newer technologies are limited to the traditional dichotomy of implicit and explicit teaching approaches. Instead, they emphasize both learner-computer and interpersonal interactions by promoting independent discovery and learner autonomy through the exploration of authentic language. So this chapter is for technology based for L2 grammar, tutorial call, intelligent call, data driven learning, and computer mediated communication. We first describe their respective goals and SLA frameworks and provide examples of the tools developed for the L2 grammar. Classroom by situating each learning environment with its teaching approach to 12 grammar instructions. Finally, we present an overview of research studies that have been conducted within these learning environments by focusing on learner feedback in ICO and TMC and learner autonomy in DDL. So, next matter I will be moderator.
Okay, thank you, Indah. The next material will be explained by me. So, there are 4 technology-based pedagogies for L2 grammar. So, the first one is the tutorial call, and then intelligent call, or I-call, and then corpora and data-driven learning, or TTL, and the last one is computer-mediated communication, or CMC. So, tutorial call in early tutorial call application, learners will be provided with mechanical practice of selected and graded grammatical phenomena. The grammar learning activities mainly consist of short sentence-based practice and proper isolated grammatical forms which are preset as multiple choice, fill in the blank, match or rank, and resemble or translate small chunks of text items. One of the main differences among tutorial call programs lies in the ways in which learner responses are processed and evaluated. These underlying algorithms determine the distinct ways in which the call application responds to learner errors. And there are 3 most commonly used algorithms are string matching, pattern markup, and error anticipation. So first is string matching. This is the example. Are you afraid of? So the learner response is to fly, but the system response or is wrong or true again. If the student answer with the infinitive to fly, the system will identify that an error has occurred and respond with a generic error message, such as like the example in wrong tree again. However, even if the student chooses the correct answer, flying, but misspells, the call program will provide the same error message and does not make a distinction between different error types. Accordingly, and due to the underlying algorithm of processing learner input, simple string matching cannot channel learners toward the correct answer or focus their attention on the error. The algorithm is limited to a yes or no response. And then is pattern makeup is error processing algorithm and will scan the sentence left to right by performing a simple character by character match and informing the student of any character mismatch with a special symbol but cannot explain an anticipated error. And then error anticipation. Answer processing technique of tutorial call if the student answers to fly for the activity in example. The error has been anticipated, the system will be able to identify the error and inform the student that the infinitive is wrong because afraid of requires a gerund. In contrast, if the error has not been anticipated, the system response will result in a generic feedback message. Okay, the second is I-call or intelligent call. I-call relies on natural language processing (NLP), student modeling and expert systems. NLP technique model understanding of human language by a computer by producing a formal linguistic representation of learner. And I-call has two main categories. The first is Intelligent Language Tutorial System or ILTS and language tools. So ICO creates opportunities for learner-computer interaction with computer reaction and responses to learner output, error detection and error-specific feedback, and they draw the learner's attention to a gap between their inter-language and the target language through salient modified language input. Accordingly, and based on sophisticated NLP technologies and ILTS identifies and interprets error as well as correct construction in learner input and then generates pedagogically appropriate, informative learner and feedback by instruction the learner as to the exact location and source of an error. So this is the example for no cleansing or child still young to be. The learner response or student response is there clean is no clean. But the correct answer is thus kind is not clean, the child is still young. If the student incorrectly provides the articles there for the noun kind in the I-call system informs the learner that an error has occurred with the article of the neuter noun. In addition, an ELTS is capable of distinguishing among different types of errors. For instance, if the student misspells a word, such as kins instead of kind, the system also instructs the learners accordingly. Unlike tutorial call, iCall is able to provide appropriate feedback to a large range of unanticipated errors that the student may make. And then language tools is such as online dictionaries, grammar and spell checkers, and morphological analyzers that can help and assist learners with their language learning activities. Okay, the third one is corpora and data-driven learning. Corpora are potential sources of rich language input as they allow teachers and learners to obtain large numbers of examples of target construction, or if the selected corpus is representative of this construction. Corpora lend themselves to an inductive approach to language teaching and learning, in which learners more or less independently engage in pattern hunting and pattern defining with the teacher assisting them as a facilitator. And TTL has been associated with learner autonomy, the learner's psychological relation to the process and content of learning, a capacity for detachment, critical reflection, decision-making, and independent action. This emphasis on independent discovery, serendipitous learning, and learner autonomy has been reflected in metaphors like researcher and observer that have been used to describe a learner engaged in TTL. The number of resources providing guides and models for specific TTL activities for teachers and learners has been recently growing, although still is insufficient. Okay, that's all from me. The next material will be presented by Vania.
Okay, the next is computer meditation communication. The first attempts to use CMC technology for language teaching purpose, primarily the asynchronous ACMC, email and the synchronous STMC chat were made in 1990s, and the field has been rapidly expanding ever since. Such a pedagogical application are grounded in theories that consider interpersonal communication a crucial driving force in L2 development. The interactionist theory is on Chappell 1998, and the social cultural technology is on Thorne 2003. Furthermore, CMC has been shown to have many features similar to face-to-face language classroom interaction, such as clarification, request, and feedback, but also some added benefits such as increased participation and improved learner attitudes. I think that's all for me. I give it back to moderator.
Okay, the next material will be presented by Indah, Rizky, Julianty.
Okay, so the next material is research on the use of the technologies for L2 grammar teaching and learning. So, in view of the powerful capacity of ICAL system for generating error-specific feedback to learners, research examines the effectiveness of different types of corrective feedback on learners' 12 grammar performance to determine its impact on learning outcomes and or learner-computer interaction. So in addition to these studies, which investigated a relative focus on form, that is feedback that the ecosystem provides in response to learner input, a few studies have also examined identity from type focus on form, which provides learners with relevant metalinguistic information before difficulties arise. So the goal here is to reduce potential frustrations by marking critical features in the language task to assist learners in task compression. Alice Bestuker and Lawan 20 and 1. For instance, investigated the impact of primitive focus on form which consisted of exercise-specific grammar and vocabulary hints that the call system provides when students start an exercise. She showed that for different proficiency levels, beginner early intermediate of adult learners of German. Primitive focus on form was significantly more effective than not providing any assistance before students attempted to complete a task. Furthermore, according to retrospective interviews with some of study participants, primitive focus on form help them avoid some errors, thus leading to a more positive learning experience. While the research above focused on learning outcomes by studying the effectiveness of different feedback types, some studies have also considered learner strategies with respect to corrective feedback in call. Overall, this line of research has shown that students generally benefit from expressing metonymistic feedback because they subsequently perform better on particular target language structure and or because students' grammatical awareness is subsequently raised. Nevertheless, there are conflicting factors such as feedback amount and timing, or more generally, the long-term impact of call feedback on learning that make the research result less conclusive than, than one might hope and require further investigation. So, the next slide, feedback in computer-mediated communication. In the first research trend, most studies concurred in their finding that vocabulary traitors more LRES than grammar in CMC infection. Second strand has explored the CMC effectiveness for 12 grammar learning by measuring learning outcome. In the third trend, research have compared the effectiveness of different feedback types on grammar learning. Just, I think, no. So to summarize, CMC has been shown to be effective for 12 grammar learning in both disparate to learner and peer-to-peer intercultural and intracultural exchange due to the frequent occurrence of LRES, essential visibility of feedback and effective time for feedback process. Until here my material, I back to moderator.
Okay, next material will be explained by Vania.
Okay, next is learner autonomy in DDL2 grammar. Language learning with technology has long been associated with higher degrees of autonomy. Language learning with technology has long been associated with higher degrees of autonomy, which is considered beneficial for learners. It prepares their long time in the school. The autonomous language learning with technology will have a beneficial for learner as it prepare them for lifelong learning beyond the classroom. Many L2 grammar studies had university students as participants, and most of them focus on teaching English. Some scholars have recently argued that will can be equally conducive to grammar learning and even especially facilitated at lower proficiency level. Next. Okay, the next is the conclusion. So the conclusion is while the fundamental media used in language instruction, text, audio, video, image have remained constant over time, their technological format and their role in language learning have changed dramatically. Language learning technology and call have evolved from delivery via localized technological resource to anytime, any place, provides through network digital means. Moreover, technology has advanced from its ancillary role in the curriculum to become a core source of content and a conduit for authentic language learning experience. Okay, I will give back to the moderator.
Okay, that's all from our group 8. And thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.